in the spirit of the CasualCast, we always have a second topic. I was going to have a really good segue to this topic, but like that's just kind of out the window with all the shit that we've talked because we really went off topic. But Ben and I were going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how that's looking at the moment, where it's going, and how we feel about the 10 years that it's been going. Because I don't know if you saw this week, Ben, but they put out a photo because the 10-year celebration of the Marvel Cinematic Universe started this week. They put out a photo of most of the people who have ever been in the movies or helped make the movies. And it was, seemed like a wonderful celebration. And I wanted to know what your thoughts on the MCU at the moment is compared to when it started.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure if anyone's ever listened to our old ones, my view on Marvel for a while there was distasteful at best, I think. I thought their movies, seemed to be, repeating themselves, and, they didn't have that unique vibe that a lot of the ones that have come out this year have. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to sneeze or not. I'm so sorry.
Quality listening.
Oh, shit. Alright, I'm back. That was bad.
I put $5 on that. You're gonna sneeze in the next minute.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, I didn't think they had that same kind of structure that the other ones had, and but really there have been gold mines come through the Marvel universe earlier on. As much as the old Spider-Mans are shit on, they were good for their time. We loved them when we were growing up, and the same with
one of them is still good.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then the Andy Garfield ones as well. They're not too bad. They probably were my second favourite. And then the most recent Spider-Man, can't remember who plays fucking Spider-Man in that, terrible with names.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, that's the one. Was amazing, and I think that kind of shows the evolution of Marvel for me really well. Because the first one was kind of just base roots off the comics. The second one was a little bit in between the lines, I guess I would say, a bit different. And then this new one is back to the comics again, but done really well, and a lot of emphasis on the story and how he probably should have been in the comic books. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. As a long-time Spidey comic reader, I think it was really accurate. I think I spoke a lot about that. We did an episode about Spider-Man Homecoming. You had to leave for that topic, Ben. It was with Brad Murphy. So shout out to Brad if you're listening. Yeah, we talked about how super accurate it was to the comics, and it was a good fresh face for the sort of franchise. In saying that, though, all the old Spider-Man movies aren't MCU movies. They were made by Sony, so...
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of started with Iron Man, which I think still objectively is a great movie. Iron Man 2 and 3, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But they've definitely come a long way. Because I do agree, it was starting to get stale to a certain point until the last maybe 2 years when I think Doctor Strange... No, Ant-Man was a really good turning point, I thought. They started to go a little bit different. And then, yeah, especially now with Thor Ragnarok, that's probably my favourite MCU movie by a little bit. Civil War is pretty close too, but Ragnarok was just so unique and awesome and hilarious. What I think they're doing differently now is that they're trying to make genre movies and not just superhero movies.
Yeah.
So Thor was a comedy, and then I suppose you would have, I don't know, what's another example of that?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, also a comedy, I suppose.
Yep.
They've done other movies that are different genres too, though. Ant-Man's kind of like a heist movie, and stuff like that. With them trying to do that, I think they have, I guess you could say, a bright future ahead, I suppose. Black Panther's been getting amazing reviews as well. I'm yet to watch that. It is out at the moment. And, Spider-Man Homecoming is kind of like an action drama. And, yeah.
Yeah, because Disney do own Marvel now, right? That's... Oh, they
absolutely, yeah. So all the Marvel movies are also Disney movies, yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see if that's going to translate to the movies in the future, because Disney's got their brand, and they need to uphold that brand and make sure all their movies are set to a standard they believe. And so I don't know if they're going to have a lot of influence over it. I know they didn't have with the most recent Spider-Man, but you can never really be sure with Disney. You just never know. The fact that they brought out, what was it, a 25-minute short film or something before one of the movies they recently put out for Frozen. That was absolutely absurd and seems out of character, but it just shows that they'll kind of do anything they think is just going to basically make them more money.
Yeah, sure. I definitely agree with that. I mean, all they're in it for is for the money. But I think with franchises like the MCU and for the most part Star Wars, I think they do try to put a bit of care into trying to make it good. Whether The Last Jedi or not was good, that's another story. But I think they do legitimately try, because they know with stuff like that, the nerds get angry. And if the nerds are angry, they're not going to hear the end of it, and they're also easily going to boycott all the shit that they do.
Nerds are
so I feel like they do put some care into it. They have made a lot of bad Marvel films as well. I mean, the Disney Marvel movies came every movie after the first Avengers. Paramount owned it kind of beforehand, and then after the first Avengers, Marvel Studios was then owned by Disney. And they've had a lot of misses, but they've had probably just as many hits too. Like Captain America, The Winter Soldier, great fucking movie. Great movie.
Yeah, very good.
Stuff like that. But then they've also done like Thor 2, which is horrible, and Iron Man 3, which is horrible. And
Thor's one of the most interesting ones, I think, because each movie seems like they've got a different tone. Like, the first one is kind of like, I want to say a classic, just action superhero movie. The second one takes like a much darker kind of turn. It's like a lot more brooding. And then the third one is just hilarious and has genuine laugh out loud moments. So it's another one that has benefited from the changeover of ownership, I guess, but I don't know how much effect that has had in the end.
Yeah. It seems kind of like what they're doing now with their ones that aren't Avengers movies, or the ones that are going to be like the huge ones like Civil War or something like that. They've been picking up a lot of directors that haven't done anything like that before. So, especially Thor, which I think is a great example of this, is they got Taika Waititi, who had only done really small New Zealand films, like
Hunt for the Wilder
What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People, stuff like that. And I think they wanted directors that don't come from that blockbuster background to give it something different. Because all the blockbusters are starting to meld into the same kind of model. They're all kind of cut and paste the same movie. And I think with them doing something like that, it's kind of brought a big breath of fresh air into the franchise. So I'm digging that. I think what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done is one of the greatest cinema events of all time. I mean, it hasn't been done before. Movies have never had a big franchise that's all in the same shared universe across, spanning multiple movies a year as big as this is now.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really unique thing to come out of 2008 until now. And I wonder if they're going to wrap it all up, or if they'll just keep beating the drum until no one likes superhero movies anymore.
The superhero drum.
I mean, I really want them to wrap it up on a good note. Like, I'd love that Blu-ray box set of the entire, Marvel Cinematic Universe just in one box set.
Man. That's a lot of discs.
Oh, worth it. Totally worth it. I would dig a collection like that. But yeah, just a beginning and an end. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, look, I agree. I'd love to see it like that. If they keep up, this kind of quality and they end on such a high note, then everyone's going to look back and be like, look, yeah, there was some of them weren't great, but fuck, did they, evolve and end on such a good note. I want to buy these box sets and shit. It's going to be great to just sit down and watch them later on. But I don't know, I can't see it being wrapped up that easily or that nicely, especially with Disney. I reckon that it's going to just keep being pushed until they run out of things that they can do. Because
definitely
the fact that when they acquired fucking X-Men and that, and the fact they want to bring all the universes together and have crossovers and things like that, I think that's just opened up a whole nother can of worms to just keep it going for much longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have they own enough characters now to run it nearly forever. I just hope that they don't. Sure, bring some X-Men in, that's fine, or have X-Men be their own thing too. They were always, because Fox owned them until now, they're always their own thing. I'd be happy for them to keep it that way and not have them interact with the Avengers. I don't need the X-Men with the Avengers because they haven't been for 10 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, just leave them on their own, keep making Logan movies. Oh, Hugh Jackman's not involved anymore, though, so they can't.
That's it.
But, yeah, I don't know. I'd really like there to be an end, and, I reckon it'd be a cool thing to show your kids someday. This came out, nothing had ever been done like it before. Let's sit down and watch 57 movies and see how this whole thing ends. That'd be great. But, yeah, Disney seem like they just want to run cash cows for as long as they can, because that's what they're doing with Star Wars. They're like, oh, we've got another trilogy to happen after this one. We're doing spin-off movies every year until Star Wars ends, but we don't think Star Wars is going to have an end.
That's
so,
it.
Yay. And
we're going to keep going, because they've got another trilogy after this, right?
Yep.
So Disney
possibly
Formula
one
for
more
ya.
too. There's rumours that they have another trilogy to go on as well.
As a Star Wars fan, what are your thoughts? Are you worried? Is there a deep burning desire for them to stop in your gut? Do you want them to leave Britney alone?
I want them to... I want them to leave Britney in her heyday and just keep making those quality early Britney Spears albums instead of possibly getting to the point where Britney goes crazy and shaves her head. I don't want Star Wars to shave its head and just collapse. I really don't. If they can keep making the movies quality, then sure. I think there's 3 or 4 more in me. Yep. But I don't know. I don't think I can do another 59 trilogies and get to Star Wars episode 600. Like,
that's it.
That math is way off too. But
Phantom's menace attacks a man with lightsaber 2.
That's exactly right. I don't know. It's
Return of the Sith 2, Sebulba's Revenge.
Return of the Sith again?
Again?
It was Jar Jar Binks the whole time.
I'm waiting for. I hate that. I hate that everyone thinks that Jar Jar Binks is a Sith. I think that's just so ridiculous.
You need to read the whole theory. It's so funny.
No, I have. It's just someone sat down and wrote that. I tell myself that every time I've read it. I'm just like, someone sat down and wrote this. This was in their brain. They put it on paper, and now I'm reading it. Now it's in my brain.
I've got a love-hate relationship with that person. It's hilarious that they did that, but like now I never hear or see the end of it.
That's
and every time a Star Wars movie comes out, someone just photoshops Jar Jar's face on it and says it was him the whole time. I've seen that meme too many goddamn times. Actually, one thing that I love about Star Wars going and going and going is the Star Wars Sith posting community will continue to be fed with great meme material.
That's all you care about. Yeah.
That's it.
Anything else you want to add to that there,
Anything else I wanted to add?
Let's finish on what are you looking most forward to out of the coming movies this year or in the future for Marvel?
What am I looking forward to out of the current movies the most? Avengers Infinity War. Because that's kind of like, it's not going to be the conclusion, but it's like the beginning of the conclusion, I suppose. Like they're going to wrap up that initial 10-year fucking phase of Marvel with these 2 movies, I'm pretty sure. So I really can't wait for it. The trailer looks hype as anything. It's a lot of characters to put in one movie. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but the trailer looks like they're going to make it. I'm just looking forward to watching
some superheroes fight some villains. Just a classic old, superhero fucking fight out.
That's it. Also, and my boy Tom Holland's in it, so it can't be bad.
They've leaked that they're going to kill off a character within the first 5 minutes or something like that, I believe. Something along those lines.
It'll be a cop-out, though. It's going to be like, hey, Groot's dead again. He's coming back, though.
I can't see it not being Falcon or someone just like that, exactly what you're saying. Some supporting role that no one cares about.
That's it. Or it'll be War Machine. I remember in Civil War when they knocked him out of the sky and everyone thought he might be dead. It's like, no one cares. This is meant to be an emotional scene, but like, who gives a shit about War Machine?
If they kill War Machine now, I feel like that's even more of a cop-out than killing off Falcon, because he's basically dead. Can he even walk? Isn't he paralyzed or something fucking absurd?
He's in the suit in the trailer, so I think the suit can move his legs, but I'm fairly certain he probably can't walk.
He has to fly everywhere.
He's just always in the suit.
That's it. If you fall over, you're fucked.
For him.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, so I'm looking forward to that. But that's really soon. That's in the very near future.
That's it. How do you see the entire MCU ending? Give me a pitch on how you end the whole thing.
Well, when the whole universe was in a hot, dense state, nearly 40 million years ago, expansion started. That the Earth will begin to cool, and there'll be a big bang, and they'll all die. I'm so sorry. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
The Big Bang Theory theme. I hate that show so much.
I just thought Big Bang. That'll be the end of it. No, I reckon it'll have to be, because you know how there's multiple universes in Marvel.
Yep.
I reckon it'll have to be the conclusion of one of those universes, like where everyone is wiped out or something. I think of the sort.
I don't think they're gonna do the whole multiple universe.
No, I mean like as in
not very in depth.
They'll end it there, whereas like this universe is gone. But I reckon that leaves room for other people to use it later on. Because one universe is
they'll be like, hey, there's another universe, we can make more movies.
But
I think the general public's too dumb to wrap their head around that concept.
I don't doubt that, but I reckon that's the way they're going to go. Ending probably the universe, like, something will happen.
Right.
I think that's my theory. What about you? What do you
Interesting.
think?
I don't know. I think Groot just won't be able to stop growing, and no one's going to have the heart to put him down. But he's going to grow so large that the size of him wraps around the entire Earth and squishes everyone to death. And now there's nothing left but Groot, who's just a continuing big ball of planet-sized tree.
What about Star-Lord and all that? Like,
Well, they're not going to have it in them to kill him.
Yeah, but it's not going to affect them. The universe will still exist then.
Well, yeah, the universe will still exist, but everyone's on Earth partying because they just beat Thanos, and now they're all squished to death.
That's a real quick growth period. Very fast.
Someone gave him a protein shake too many.